Welcome. Today, we're going to delve into a profound and often challenging topic: thinking the afterlife, going beyond the limit of being. Our approach will be to naturalize the post-mortem, exploring it through the lenses of key thinkers like Henri Bergson, Alfred North Whitehead, information physics, and Gilles Deleuze. We aim to move beyond conventional notions and consider new possibilities for understanding what might happen after death. Historically, our thinking about death has often fallen into what I call the historical trap of absolute conclusions. On one hand, we have annihilation, a materialist view where the destruction of the body necessitates the absolute destruction of the self. There's nothing left. On the other, we find supernaturalism, where the self migrates to a realm entirely outside of physics, requiring a personal god or Platonic ideas. Both extremes present significant philosophical and scientific challenges. We're looking for a third path. Instead of these extremes, let's consider the afterlife as an unmapped layer of nature. Imagine the extended physical system, where the afterlife is an undiscovered natural layer, operating under physical laws we have not yet modeled. It's not about a supernatural realm, but about expanding our understanding of nature itself. The unexplained is vast, and perhaps what we call the afterlife resides within physical laws that are simply beyond our current models, waiting to be understood. Let's begin with Henri Bergson and his radical idea that the brain is a filter, not a container. His core concept proposes that the brain operates within a monistic dualism. It doesn't produce consciousness, rather, it suppresses past memories to allow us to act effectively in the present reality. The post-mortem implication of this is profound. Bergson suggests that dementia or amnesia isn't the disappearance of memory, but a breakdown of this filtering device. Therefore, death is the destruction of this filtering aperture. Consciousness is not annihilated, it is merely liberated into pure duration, an endless flow of pure memory, unconstrained by the needs of present action. Next, Alfred North Whitehead offers a perspective on death as an experiential trace. In his process philosophy, every single event is an active process that leaves a permanent experience behind. This means that the world is a continuous unfolding of unique, actual occasions. The post-mortem implication, then, is that death marks the end of a particular individual process. However, the effects, relations, and meanings produced by that process are permanently stored. The afterlife, in this view, is not a separate realm but a structural integration into universal memory, a cosmic process where all experiences contribute to the ongoing reality of the universe. Moving into a more contemporary framework, information physics proposes the conservation of complexity. The core concept here is rooted in resolutions to the black hole information paradox. Modern physics increasingly supports the principle that information cannot be destroyed, it only changes form. If human consciousness is a highly organized informational pattern, then the post-mortem implication is that death is simply its decoupling from a biological platform. The afterlife, in this context, represents a deeper, underlying structural layer of nature where informational preservation occurs, even if its form is radically transformed. Finally, we turn to Gilles Deleuze, who discusses the dissolution into a life. His core concept posits that reality consists of both the actual and the virtual. The subject known as the self is merely a temporary, structured illusion produced by society and biology. For Deleuze, the post-mortem implication is that death is the collapse of the organism's limits. What remains is not me, in a personal sense, but pre-individual, non-organic pure vitality. Death, therefore, liberates the self into the infinite flow of life, the plane of immanence, a vast, impersonal, and dynamic field of potentiality. To summarize these perspectives, let's look at this postmortem reality matrix. For Henri Bergson, the filtering body dies, but unfiltered memory survives, and the afterlife is liberated duration. Alfred North Whitehead suggests the active process dies, but experiential traces survive, leading to universal memory. Information physics posits that the biological platform dies, but informational patterns survive, existing within a deeper natural substrate. And for Gilles Deleuze, the organized self dies, yet pure vitality, or life, survives, manifesting as the plane of immanence. Each offers a nuanced, non-supernatural take on what persists. This leads us to consider the architecture of reassembly. Rather than a static afterlife, the most profound perspective here is not one of static eternity, but of endless, dynamic reconfiguration. We start with territorialization, the temporary assemblage of forces that constitute our existence as individuals. Then comes deterritorialization, which is death, the shedding of that individual shell. But these forces don't vanish. They enter reterritorialization, where forces and intensities rearrange into entirely new assemblages. The intensities of forces that once composed you do not vanish, they return to the universe, continuing to operate in unimaginably new ways. In conclusion, we can reframe our understanding death as not an exit from reality. It is a redistribution within it. The afterlife is not a supernatural myth. It is a natural hypothesis awaiting future science. This perspective invites us to reconsider the boundaries of being and explore the universe as an ever-transforming, interconnected whole.